on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend, and neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend, and neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents do you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they can be.
FM. I'm Doc Peace, Doctor of Pharmacy, Transformational Rhythmic Speaker, and Empowerment Guru. I guide natural healers in further leveraging their creativity and expertise to make a powerful soul-driven impact in the world. Golden Sessions is a time for us to connect and reset with doses of inspiration to empower our confidence and to foster global unity. Featuring golden starlings from all over the world who are shining their light so bright to ignite our light and remind us all that together we thrive. Today, we have an incredible guest here with us, Kate Hutson. Kate Hutson is an executive life coach and the owner of Shattered Glass Coaching. After years of passionate work as a business leader, teacher, coach, and mentor, Kate turned her passion for mentoring others into practical knowledge for the real world, skills that people can actually use in their everyday lives to help them gain confidence, develop leadership skills, and achieve their wildest dreams. That is absolutely beautiful, Kate. Welcome.
Doc.PEACE, thank you so much for having me. Ever since we met on the volleyball courts at the beach and we connected over being in the coaching space, I've been looking forward to chatting with you further. So thank you for having me.
Yes, you're super welcome. We did meet on the beach volleyball court, didn't we?
We did.
How wonderful is that we were able to meet organically IRL in real life and to form these connections that grow into something more, that grow to you and being on my platform on the radio show and sharing your light. So I'm curious, how did you get on this path where not only are you following your dreams, but you're guiding others and following theirs?
Yes. So before I was a coach, I was in the business world. And I worked for a company for 6 years in Texas where I was a director. And I wore a lot of hats in this role. It was a small company. So I did the marketing, I did the sales, I did the hiring, I did the customer retention. And I found a lot of success in this role. And I started speaking at different conferences around the world. And I started sharing what was working for me with other professionals. And I started to find that my favorite part of my job was sharing this with other people and was mentoring and talking about the successes that I was finding and really helping other people also find success. And I just thought it was so fun to share that knowledge. And I got to a point where I realized I was ready to move on from the company and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And a friend came to me and said, "You love mentoring, you love speaking, you love sharing knowledge with people. You're good at business. Why don't you go into coaching?" And I thought, "What's that?" And I started reaching out to some other coaches, female coaches who are in a similar space that I was in, and started saying, "What's your story? What do you do as a life coach? What is this job? What do you get to do on a day-to-day basis?" And I listened to their stories and I realized okay, I can work with other people, other women in my case, and I can empower them and coach them and help them reach goals with this level of accountability that was a little bit foreign to me because I didn't know what a coach was. And when I realized I could be a cheerleader and a mentor and a coach and an accountability buddy all wrapped into one and make a career out of it, I was like, sign me up. So from there, I became a certified life coach, and I started my coaching practice, Shattered Glass Coaching, and now I work with professional women, and I do exactly that. I help them achieve their dreams and become unstoppable.
Wow. So why is it called shattered glass coaching? Is it
Oh,
because you're going above and beyond that glass?
so I love the feelings that are evoked when you hear like shattering the glass ceiling.
Yeah.
And I'm helping women reach new heights that they've never reached before and break past barriers, invisible or visible barriers to reach goals career-wise or within their personal lives and just go above and beyond what maybe they ever thought was possible.
Whew, that's powerful. So I'm curious, were you always so outgoing growing up?
I've always been a talker and I've always been an extrovert. Even when I was little, my mom used to joke that I would be on the front door when I was like 5 years old, the front porch, and I'd be like, "Friends, come over. Where are you?" So I've always been an extrovert. However, doing the job that I told you about in my 20s, where I was a director at a company and started speaking at different conferences, that really pushed me to that next level and helped me get more comfortable with speaking and with confidence and with taking on a whole different role.
Whew, wow. So you mentioned wearing all of these hats. Were there any hats in particular that didn't quite fit, but you kind of like adjusted it and made it work?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, well, when I first started, I didn't think any of the hats fit. I was just scared and nervous and I had imposter syndrome. And so yeah, there were a lot of hats that I had to move around and figure out what worked. And as with anything, there were things that felt more natural than others. The sales aspect was really easy for me. I loved getting on the phone with people and convincing them why this was the best way for them to go. Um, but there were other parts that were harder. I mean, managing people and being a supervisor and leading a team, that was harder to learn and to grasp how to be an effective leader. Like that doesn't happen overnight. That was a hat that I had to like try on a few different hats in order for it to fit. So yeah, to answer your question, none of them fit at first, but it was a journey and it was a learning process and it got me out of my comfort zone and I grew from it.
Wow. So you mentioned a particular limiting belief that I know a lot of us have, including myself at one point, which was this imposter syndrome. I really kind of want to dig in on that because, again, it's something that we can all relate to. How did you specifically overcome this feeling that you were being an imposter?
It's so tough because we've all been there.
Hmm.
And for me, the first step was identifying all of those limiting beliefs and like really coming face to face with them. And I had a great coach at the time who asked me to write down all of them and just purge them. And for me, a lot of my limiting beliefs were around I don't have the skills or experience to start my own coaching practice. I don't have the qualifications. There's people who can do it better than me. And I really suffered from comparisonitis and thinking there's someone better for the job.
Comparisonitis.
Yeah.
So, coming from the medical world, itis is inflammation. But now you have competitivitis, competitivitis. So that's inflammation of the competition.
Inflammation of comparing myself to those around me.
Oh, inflammation of comparing yourself to those around you.
Mhm.
Comparisonitis.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
So I had to identify that and say out loud, like I'm struggling. I'm comparing myself to other coaches and other business owners, even if they're not coaches. And how can I grow if I'm stuck in this comparison mindset? And identifying that and saying that out loud took away a bit of its power. And saying, I know this is something that creeps into my mind every now and then. And I'm going to be self-aware when it does, so that when it creeps up, I don't let it engulf me in negative emotions. And I can say, hold up, I know what this is. This is that comparisonitis. and I recognize it, and being able to consciously flip it and make a choice to recognize it and witness it and let it pass.
Mm. Wow. So you took away its power that it had over you by, I guess, in a way, talking back to it and saying, I know what you are. I know
Mm-hmm.
what you are. You don't serve me. I'm going to release you.
Yes. You don't serve me. I'm going to release you.
Whew, how powerful is that? Okay. So, Kate, you recently, not just recently, but how long has it been since you started your coaching program?
I started in the middle of 2020, in the middle of the pandemic.
So it is very recent.
Yes.
Why? Why did you even think of starting something new in the middle of a world crisis?
Two reasons. The first was I felt like there was so much uncertainty in the world that just living my life was a risk. And if everything was uncertain and everything was a risk, why not just amp up that risk and amp up that uncertainty and just go for it? It's a time of change. It's a time of what's going on. Like, let's just really embrace that and go for it. And then the second part was that there were so many people that I was interacting with, coworkers, friends, family, people in my network, who were looking for clarity, guidance, and just next steps on their professional and personal journey. And I could
Yeah.
see this need for a coach and a mentor. And I thought, everyone I'm talking to is craving this clarity and craving this guidance. I can be the person who provides it. I can get in this space, and I can one, meet this need that I hear people want, and I can be that person. And so for those two reasons, I was just like, let's go for it, you know?
Let's do it. I love that. So you identified a need, those in your community who are looking for clarity on what their next steps were going to be. And you said, why can't it be me? Why can't I be the one to give them this clarity that they're welcoming? And that actual statement brings me back to a previous episode we had here on the show with Kaylee Humphreys, she's a gold medalist in uh, the the snow sledding thing, monobobbing. That's what it is. And she shared with us that one of those things that kind of stands in her way is the same kind of like feeling that you just described of this imposter syndrome, or like, okay, I can't win this. But she turned that around by saying, someone's going to win. Why can't it be me? Why can't it be me? And so it's that same kind of mentality. Someone's going to help my community. I have the skill sets. Why can't it be me?
Yeah. And I think that when you identify a need that also aligns with your strengths and your passions, that's when you've really found the sweet spot for making a career that is fulfilling, but can also lead you to great places financially and success
Mm.
and impact and all of the things as a business coach that I know that you work with your clients on. Like, what can I do that I love and that doesn't feel like work, that is impacting others and sustaining me? And it's like, that is pure gold in every sense of the word.
Yes. So I love how you just mentioned this GOLD acronym. Genuine, original, loving, dreamer. I truly and honestly believe that you are gold. In fact, everyone I bring on the show is gold. They're shining their light. Can you share with us real briefly before we go on break is how have you being gold helped you get through this past year?
So I think for me, being gold has allowed me to overcome obstacles when they come up and to be able to pivot and shift and change and know that if there are challenges, if there are obstacles, if I get thrown off my game, that it's not the end all be all, that I can do something about it and I can make changes big or small to keep going on my path. And that's what being golden for me has been this year.
Beautiful. I love that. Wow. Okay. So many golden nuggets. I'm excited to dive deeper into your golden attributes when we come back. You're listening to Golden Sessions with Doc Peace on KNSJ 89.1 FM with our incredible guest, Kate Hutson. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. So stay tuned.
Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually.
And we're back. You're listening to Golden Sessions with Doc Peace on KNSJ 89.1 FM. I'm Doc Peace, and we are here with Kate Hutson. Let's get back into it. So, Kate, we were talking about how many in our communities are looking to gain clarity and make positive steps forward. What do you think is the biggest thing that's holding them back from making that progress?
I think that a fear of failure is a huge mindset obstacle. And I think there's so many people who don't take action towards what they really want because they're either scared that they're not going to get it, scared that they're going to fail on their way to getting it, or that they're going to let down other people on their pursuit of this goal. And it all comes back to this fear. And so when you're able to overcome fear is when you can take bold action to get what you want. And I think when people make excuses or say they don't have the time, it really boils back down to the fear. So for me, it's this fear of failure, fear of letting people down, and that's what it's all about.
Whew. Okay. So in what ways can you overcome a fear mindset? So we talked about this comparison-itis, which is the comparison mindset. But how do you just tell yourself, okay, this fear is gone. I no longer have this fear anymore. I rid myself of this fear and I walk boldly. How do you so how do you I guess in a way transform yourself into a confident being who no longer has that fear of the unknown?
If only it were that easy, by the way. But I think that usually action comes before you let go of the fear. So you need to take some sort of action. And I love to call it messy action.
Okay.
Because so many people don't want to take action because they're scared that it's not ready. It's not perfect. It's not good. I'm not ready. But messy action actually puts you closer to your goal than you were with no action, and helps you kind of get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And there is such beauty in discomfort. And when you take a step that is scary and you display courage by doing something, anything, telling someone what your goal is, announcing it to your friends or on social media, signing up for that one course that's going to teach you how to get there. Those are small steps, but they make you uncomfortable and they get you closer to your goal. So I would say taking action is how to get you out of this fear, is like taking messy
Okay.
action.
Taking messy action. What does messy action actually look like? Because
Messy action.
because is it just not having your hair done and just like or just putting your makeup on sloppily? Like, is it, how messy is this messy action?
That could be messy action. But really, messy action is saying, this isn't perfect, because for most people, nothing is going to be perfect to their own standards. But I'm going to do something anyways. If you're working towards a health or physical fitness goal, and you've been a couch potato for the past 6 months, messy action might be putting on your pair of sneakers that you haven't put on in 6 months and going for a walk or jog for 6 minutes and just getting out of the house and doing it. Is that pretty? No. But is it getting you closer to where you want to be physically or health wise? Yes. So it's messy action, but it's helping you get comfortable with the uncomfortable and take those steps. And you can apply that not just to health, of course, but to your career or to your relationships, or any aspect of your life.
Yeah, that's so true. Taking those forward steps. One statement that still resides with me that I heard last year was, real confidence is created from successful attempts.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly believe that to be true. And you're sharing that with us now. Take that messy action, make an attempt, then make another attempt, then make another attempt. And before you know it, you're building confidence in the fact that you can actually do it.
I talk a lot about the difference between courage and confidence. And I think that confidence is a mindset of like self-worth, and a mindset of competence, where you try things and you don't find success, and then you do, and you find self-worth through doing that. Whereas courage is taking the messy action or any action, even if you feel scared, even if you feel like you're not ready, you still take the action. And that's courage, is doing it anyways, despite the fear. And when you act with courage and you, as you said, attempt, and you keep going, that's what leads to confidence. So if you feel
Yeah.
like, I'm a person who's not confident, like I can't do that, I'm not confident, I don't have the guts to do that, I would say, okay, you don't have to be confident. Sure, maybe you're not there yet, you don't have that confident mindset. That's okay. Take this one step, even though you're scared. Just do this one thing, and see how that builds on itself over time, and that it does lead to confidence.
Okay, so it sounds like courage comes before confidence.
If you're lacking confidence, I would say try something a little bit scary. Maybe a new hobby. Put yourself out there in a way that you don't do on a daily basis or weekly basis. Try something out of the norm that makes you uncomfortable, even if you don't feel confident about it. And yes, that courage, that action leads to the confidence.
Whew, that's powerful. So have the courage to step outside of your comfort zone, even for just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. And then that action is what leads to real confidence, to true confidence.
Yes.
Okay. Because now you
So
know you could do it.
yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
doc.PEACE, we met on the volleyball courts, as we said earlier. When I first moved to San Diego, I didn't know a single soul. And I was looking for ways to meet people. I needed friends. And I signed up for a volleyball clinic on the beach. And I had never played beach volleyball before. I knew nothing about this clinic. And I was so scared walking up and just walking up to this volleyball court. I'm like, am I on the right court? Who am I looking for? What am I doing? I don't know how to serve, bump, anything. It was scary. And I think a lot of people have felt this feeling, like when you walk to a new place for the first time, or you're going to a party where you don't know anybody. And I was terrified. And fortunately, I met some great people while I was there, and I grew in my relationships with them. And now I have a squad of friends who I play beach volleyball with really, really regularly.
I saw you with them.
Yeah, I know. We all met.
Yes.
But it took me being scared and walking onto the volleyball court that first day in order for me to grow these meaningful friendships with people I've known for 3 years now. So it's interesting how even though I was scared, I took a step, and it's led me to this place of connection and friendship and confidence, and feeling like I kind of know how to play beach volleyball a little bit better now.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw you play. You do know now how to bump and to pass and to serve, and that's incredible. You even know the lingo. So that's a step in the right direction as well. But I do have to say though that it sounds like you're not only practicing what you preach in your business life, but also in your personal life. Can you speak on how like this all ties together? It's not so much as, okay, I'm going to practice confidence and go outside my comfort zone business wise, but once I step outside of my office, I'm going to fall into my comfort zone and just be a couch potato because, you know, how do you like mesh the two so well? Can you speak on that? Like, why is it important to be confident in both personal and business paths?
I had a mentor who once told me that you can only take your clients as far as you're willing to go. And that was a huge light bulb moment for me. Because if I'm going to be telling my clients to take steps in any area of their life, then I need to be willing to put in that same work for myself too, or else I'm not going to be able to help them. And being a coach, I am by no means like a guru. I don't have life totally figured out. I'm like not an expert in every area. However, I have mastered the art of taking steps and trying to build habits that can change my life and others' lives. And it's interesting because in order to do that, I have to be willing to try it on myself. And
Mm.
I've kind of gotten to think of it like as an experiment. like life can be a fun experiment,
Yeah.
and let me try this and try that, and see how far I can take myself, and see if it works. And if it works, I'm going to share it with everyone I know, if they're a client or a friend or a family member. And how fun is it to be able to take yourself down that road, and see how far you can take it, and then share that with someone else, and make an impact, and whatever that looks like to you. For me, it's coaching, but it could be anything.
Mm. You said how fun is it? Not how scary is it? Not how how anxious it could be. It's how fun is it? How fun is it to be and express your true self? And you're literally doing just that, Kate. Do you feel like you're living your best life in real time? I'm curious.
A lot of times, yes. And I find that mindset wise, my biggest struggle is enjoying the present moment. And I think a lot about the should haves of the past, or the could be, should be's of the future. And that is my mindset struggle. And that's something that I put a lot of effort to focusing in.
Whew.
So I struggle with things like everybody,
Yeah.
but am I continuously working on living my best life and embodying that? Resounding yes.
Yes. So I'm curious, is it other people's should be's and could be's? Is that what's impressing on you, or is it your own? Does it come from within or come from outside?
For me, it's my own.
Mm.
And I'm a recovering perfectionist where at one point I wanted everything to be perfect. I wasn't taking messy action. I only wanted pretty action. And as a recovering perfectionist, I think a lot about like, what can I be doing that can lead to this next great result in life and career and love and finances? What can I be doing, or what should I be doing, rather than enjoying the here and now as we should be more often.
So no more shooting on yourself. You're actually you- you're no longer shitting on yourself. You are actually making forward steps, even if it's messy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, no more wondering what could have happened or what should be happening, and enjoying the present and embracing the path.
Love that. Love that. How beautiful. So I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm sure there's many who would like to connect with you further. How can we do that, Kate?
So the best place to find me is my website, which is shatteredglasscoaching.com. When you go there, you can read about my 90-day program, which leads women on a path to confidence, leadership, and unleashing your full potential.
Awesome. And what kind of women um, are drawn to your work? What kind of women are you calling forth to connect with further?
If you are on the brink of a breakthrough and you know that there's something great in there for you, but you just haven't quite been able to take the right steps to figure out what it is or how to get there, and you want some support or guidance to unleash whatever that is, then I'm the girl for you. We should work
Woo!
together.
Let's go. Love it, Kate. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing with us your light. You really are a genuine, original, loving dreamer. You're gold. And I appreciate you for being with us here today.
Thank you, doc.PEACE, for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're so very welcome. Shatteredglass.com, shatteredglasscoaching.com.
Yeah, that's
Got
it.
it. So you're listening to Golden Sessions with Doc Peace on Canis J 89.1 FM. That concludes today's session with Kate Hutson. Thank you for joining us today. And remember, you are gold. We all are. And together we thrive. I'm Doc Peace. Shine on.
Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections ground me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents do you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents do you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive.